The Prime Minister delivers a powerful call at COP29. First tonight on Our News, Davis urges world leaders to keep climate action unwavering, regardless of political changes, while he says it's time to turn ambition into real impact. Also, the eviction of 4 women and subsequent protests at Poinciana Inn temporary shelter puts administrators on the defense, addressing misconceptions and emphasizing the shelter's commitment to the less fortunate and established policies. Plus, AML Foods bringing the holiday spirit early with the launch of its annual Feed 5,000 program starting with a $30,000 contribution. We'll tell you how good corporate stewardship driving the company to bring festive meals to thousands. Then in Our News at 7:30, Grand Bahama's 8 Mile Rock community celebrates the opening of a modern police station. The police chief touts the upgrade as central to keeping pace with advancing law enforcement technology. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. Yet another impassioned plea for climate action as our neighbors to the north make a big leadership change following the election of Donald Trump as President of the United States. But Prime Minister Philip Davis telling world leaders at COP29 that political changes should not affect the push for climate action. This as he urged world leaders to turn their ambition into action. Berthany McDermott gets us started tonight.
1 week after a significant leadership change in the United States, Prime Minister Philip Davis said the greatest challenge in the climate fight is political change. While he didn't specifically mention the United States, Davis said efforts to mitigate climate change should not be sporadic.
We are witnessing governments come to power that are retreating from climate commitments, dismissing the Paris Agreement, and turning inward. This isn't a crisis we can afford to address sporadically, nor is it a battle that can be won in isolated chapters, written and erased with every election.
During his first term in office, U.S. President Donald Trump pulled the United States out of the 2015 Paris Agreement, which is a legally binding international climate change treaty, and has committed to a repeat when back in office. Trump has also promised to end the climate change policies implemented under President Joe Biden. Last week, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he's not concerned that a Trump-led administration would potentially impact the climate change fight. While speaking at COP29 in Baku, Davis stressed the climate crisis cannot be left in the balance while countries switch leaders.
If we leave climate action to the whims of political cycles, our planet's future becomes precarious, very precarious. The climate crisis does not pause for elections or to accommodate the sway of changing political ideas or tides. It demands continuity, commitment, and most of all, solidarity.
The Prime Minister questioned why world leaders move with urgencies on other global issues, but seemingly drag their feet on climate change.
The world has found the ability to finance wars, the ability to mobilize against pandemics. Yet when it comes to addressing the most profound crisis of our time, the very survival of nations, where is that same ability? It is time to turn ambition into action, promises into plans, and plans into survival.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. Meanwhile, prosecutors looking for a 25 to 30-year sentence for a 62-year-old man who molested his granddaughter for almost 5 years between 2019 and 2024. A jury convicted the man of 22 counts of incest on October 30th. While prosecutors hope for the lengthy sentence, the convict's lawyer looking for a sentence of about 9 years. Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson expected to make her decision on November 27th. Administrators at Poinciana Inn Shelter shedding light on what transpired at the facility after 4 women were evicted, leading to protests. Tonight, our Joshua Williams speaks with one administrator who is clarifying what she calls misconceptions.
Officials at the temporary shelter at the Poinciana Inn that's operated by the Department of Social Services seeking to clarify how the facility is operated. Last week, a group of concerned Bahamians protested outside the inn after 4 women claimed they were evicted from the temporary shelter with nowhere to go. Administrator Dawn Darling updates us on the status of those women.
I will say that 2 of the persons have found alternate shelters. There are two women remaining in the shelter. And let me just say, they're not just single women, they're women with their husbands. The two that remain have husbands.
It's a story we followed since last week. Our News speaking to two of those residents. One said she would have to sleep in the back of her car with her 6 children. Many questioned the humanity of the decision to evict the women.
I think the country needs to understand that we are running a program, but we're doing it with compassion and empathy. And it's not our end game or end goal for people to just be tossed out.
Darling also walking me through the shelter's store. Here residents are free to get clothes, food, and shoes at no cost. She says in addition to this, they try their best to prepare their residents for life post-shelter.
Now that's completely voluntary. That's up to the resident that leaves the shelter to stay connected with us if we call and do follow-ups and try and see what's going on, or we're talking to them to see where they are. There are some residents, former residents, that we're in close contact with.
And while this is a government-funded facility, Darling is encouraging you at home to get involved.
There are needs leaving the shelter that we would definitely ask volunteers or or citizens to help us with. And maybe we can look into adopting a family or a person post leaving the shelter.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. Now, while our Joshua Williams was covering this story, security officers, they raised concerns about their pay issues happening at that facility. We'll have the story coming up in Our News at 7:30. And many shocked by the news of an eastern diamondback rattlesnake in Harbor Island recently. Authorities still searching for the snake, which can be deadly, known as one of the most dangerous venomous snakes in North America. But reptile expert Scott Johnson, who says he's been working with snakes for almost 20 years, urging the public not to go into a panic, especially if you spot one, reminding that our native snakes are non-venomous, generally harmless to humans. He has this advice about recognizing the difference between one of our Bahamian boas and a venomous viper like the rattlesnake in question.
Our boas, if you look at their heads and the shape of their bodies, our boas are relatively slender snakes, and their head is not as wide as its body. So you have the head and the body looking almost similar. So it looks just like almost like a straight noodle, a big noodle. But with a rattlesnake, they have a stout, robust body. And their head is more, I'm going to say, shaped more like a triangle. And the reason for that is because they have large sacs on the sides of their face, which hold venom glands.
And Johnson urging Bahamians, again, not to take the panic out on our native snakes. He's even offering his own services if you need help safely removing a snake.
Bahamian snakes are beautiful animals, and they don't deserve to be killed. I know that this whole situation has gotten people a little antsy about snakes, but let's please be reminded that our native Bahamian snakes are not a threat to anybody. They can reach out to me on social media. I have a page on Facebook called Wild Bahamas, and so they can reach out to me there. They could also send me an email at sjohnson@wild-bahamas.com. And they can also call me at 432-9172.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but we want to remind you about the new year. Starting the new year in a new vehicle. This Boxing Day, you can drive away in a brand new BYD Plus 2024 all-new electric vehicle. You can visit ournews.bs. There, click the Ride Easy with Our News banner. You can answer the questions correctly, and you're entered to win. So we want to remind you to do that. But before you go to our website, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Now, Greg, if you saw that snake, what was the first thing you were going to do? I'm with you.
I'm heading in the opposite direction, but that's an unsettling thing to see a Diamondback rattlesnake here.
Yeah.
You know, we've been having talks about stuff coming in on shipments of plants and
just watching that was a lot.
Yeah.
But listen, we got 17 more days left in the Atlantic hurricane season.
And it has been a busy second half of the hurricane season. We now have potential tropical cyclone 19. The forecast was 20 to 25 named storms for the season. We're winding down, but it's late in the season that we're starting to see, having these systems, especially down in the Caribbean. This one is likely to go into the Gulf of Mexico, but we'll keep an eye on that. I'll tell you more about that later on. But the winds, very windy today. And it's still windy on the outside. Few clouds. We say breezy, but it is windy. 77 degrees is our current temperature. East-northeast winds at 23 miles per hour, and they are gusting above 30. Feels like 78 degrees on the outside. Temperatures right now around the islands in the mid-70s, 75 in Freeport, Marshall, Barbacoa. We pick up 78 in Allenstown, Bimini, upper 70s there. 77 in Governor's Harbor, Great Harbor Key. Here in the capital, 78 in Nicholstown and Ross, Central Bahamas. 78s, Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island, Cookman Townsend, Salvador Pebs. 80s in Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island, and down in Deep South. 81 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Abrams Bay, Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, as well as Matthewtown, Inagua, and a pair of 80s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and my favorite spot, Delectable Bay Acklands. You guys have 88 degrees at this hour. Satellite radar composite. We do have that high pressure system, very strong one, tight pressure gradient across us that kept us rather windy across the islands. Winds gusting to near gale force across most of the island chain, the exception being the Turks and Caicos and extreme southeast Bahamas, but those winds are spreading across the entire chain. Not much in terms of any rainfall. We do have a weak front that's dropping into the northern Bahamas. That's going to change allow our temperatures to drop just a little bit. Then we have another one coming on the weekend that will reinforce a nice cool air mass on the outside. So it will be good to get outside on the weekend. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, home debuts for some of our top college hoops prospects, and high school basketball gets started in Grand Bahama with the Tip-Off Classic.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Base Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want APBs, patrol cars, wanted posters, whatever it takes, and tell the public we got $10,000 for whoever could turn them into us.
Put the word out on the street. I got $20,000 right now for any man who could bring them to me. Go clean this up.
Right, Jeff? Let's head out.
When money's sick, but the mind coming. When money's sick, but the mind coming.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and a lot of people out there say they don't understand me. So I have Adelso here who's going to interpret everything I say. So you're going to watch Charlie Bahama from Cuba this week.
Van a ver el programa del show de Bahama, de Charlie Bahama desde Cuba.
And we're going to be going to Peñales, we're going to be going to Trinidad, we're going to be going all throughout Havana.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Let's get started with college hoops. Wins in the home debuts for VJ Edgecombe and Roma Dean, while AJ Storr made his first appearance in the Champions Classic. Edgecombe gave that home crowd in Waco, Texas some insight into what they can expect. A double-double in the number 12 Bears' 104-67 win over the Sam Houston Bearcats. In the A-10, Dean reached double figures for the first time this season with 10 points in his Fordham Rams' 78-63 win over Binghamton. A.J. Storr and the number 1 ranked Kansas Jayhawks defeated fellow Blue Bloods Michigan State 77-69 in the Champions Classic. Donnie Freeman and the Syracuse Orange won 74-72 over Colgate.
The Sunland Stingers senior boys basketball program got off to a familiar start. Another preseason championship. The Stingers defeated the Tabernacle Falcons 62-55 in the GBSSAA Tip-Off Classic presented by the IL Cares Foundation. It was the 5th consecutive Tip-Off Classic title. In the small schools division, the Bishop Micah Eldon Warriors defeated the 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays 37-32.
All eyes were on the Chase Center Tuesday night. It was the return of Klay Thompson and a head-to-head matchup with the person most people see as his replacement in the lineup, Buddy Hield. Hield scored 14 points off the bench, and his Golden State Warriors got the edge 120-117 over the Dallas Mavericks in the first chapter of this new rivalry. Thompson, in his first time in the Chase Center's visiting locker room, scored 22 points and made 6 3-pointers in his return. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and President Joe Biden hold an historic White House meeting, pledging a smooth transition. Plus, Grenada's Prime Minister urges global climate action at COP29 amid severe weather challenges, detailing his nation's struggles with extreme weather. And we'll tell you the new U.S. regulations mandating full refunds for passengers facing significant flight delays or cancellations when Our News returns.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
And you'll never be the one.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
My name is Troy Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump returned to the White House on Wednesday for a pivotal meeting with President Joe Biden, marking their first sit-down since the election. In the Oval Office, Biden pledged a smooth transition. The cooperative tone seen as a sharp departure from years of heated exchanges between the two who have clashed on issues from climate to trade. Both leaders appear to set that aside in a rare show of unity.
President-elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome
thank you
back.
Very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Grenada's Prime Minister and CARICOM head Dickon Mitchell spoke on the urgent realities of climate change at COP29 in Baku, sharing how his island nation was grappling with severe flash floods, landslides, and heavy rainfall. Mitchell highlighted a 15-month drought his island endured, followed by Hurricane Beryl, which damaged or destroyed over 95% of buildings in affected areas. Now, he told the conference, quote, "We're not here to beg. It's one planet. Today, it's small islands. Tomorrow, it could be Spain or Florida," end quote. Mitchell called for global partnership on climate financing to support resilience and adaptation worldwide. JetBlue and American Airlines flights from Haiti have reported bullet damage upon return to the United States. This after a Spirit Airlines jet was hit during landing at Haiti's main airport Monday, injuring a crew member. The FAA has prohibited U.S. civil aviation in Haitian airspace below 10,000 feet, while the United Nations also suspended flights delaying humanitarian aid. The U.S. grounded all flights to the island for a month after the 3 U.S. aircraft were struck amid escalating gang violence. On the same day, the new prime minister was sworn in, pledging to restore security and stability amidst the crisis.
The country is going through extremely difficult times, and as I said earlier at the Villa de Cuy, one alone cannot solve this country's problem, and I don't intend to do it alone. All the nation's vital forces must work together.
The Associated Press reports that gun violence is surging across the region, with islands like Trinidad, the Bahamas, and Jamaica reporting record or rising homicide rates. This as Caribbean leaders continue to urge the United States to do more to curb the weapon flow. In Turks and Caicos, police and soldiers launched a major operation recently to curb gun violence following a record 40 homicides this year. Authorities there say they targeted illegal firearms smuggled from the United States. During a recent budget presentation, Trinidadian Prime Minister Keith Rowley urged lawmakers to draft a bill to ban assault weapons and high-powered rifles. Now, experts say many killings in the Caribbean are a result of gang-on-gang violence, but civilians are increasingly getting caught in the crossfire. And new travel regulations now in effect in the United States, offering passengers full refunds for severely delayed or canceled flights. Previously, at the discretion of airlines, refunds by U.S. airlines are now guaranteed under TSA guidelines. Meanwhile, EU and UK flights maintain liquid restrictions due to scanner issues, and American Airlines said to be cracking down on early boarding with a new alarm system. In the area of short-term rentals, Barcelona set to ban rentals by 2029, while New York City now requires hosts to be present. The iconic Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lifted into place after arriving at the plaza early Saturday in New York City. The 80-foot, 12-ton tree made its way to Midtown Manhattan, where it was carefully hoisted into position in front of the renowned Rockefeller Plaza. Around 100 spectators gathered to witness the impressive process, marking the start of the holiday season in the city. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was November 13th. Then in our news at 7:30, Prime Minister Davis urges reform in climate financing at COP29 amid Caribbean recovery efforts. And security guards at Poinciana Inn Shelter threaten to walk out over unpaid wages and contract disputes. We'll tell you the allegations made by the attorney representing the guards when our news returns.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the expert.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1913, Hermione Ranfurly was born in England. In 1939, she married Daniel Ranfurly and came to the colony when her husband was appointed governor in October 1953. During his term as governor, Hermione started the Ranfurly Library Service to provide books to poorer communities. She later founded the Ranfurly Home for Children. She died in England in 2001 at the age of 67. In 1965, the SS Yarmouth Castle burned and sank in Bahamian waters. The ship was en route to Nassau from Miami when it caught fire and sank 60 miles off Nassau. Survivors were rescued and taken to New Providence. November 13th, 1975, Everett Elisha Obed Ferguson won the World Boxing Council's light middleweight title in Paris, France, defeating Brazilian boxer Miguel de Oliveira. He defended the title twice before losing it in 1976 when he quit. And in 2001, Orville Alton Turnquest stepped down as Governor General. Sir Orville, who succeeded Sir Clifford Darling, had served from January 1995. And upon Turnquest's retirement, Dame Ivy Dumont became acting Governor General. Her position was made permanent on January 1st, 2002, and served until November 30th, 2005. She was the first woman to ever hold the high office. Well, the spirit of Christmas coming early at AML Foods. The company launched its 9th annual Feed 5,000 holiday feeding program with an injection of $30,000 to jumpstart the initiative. Their goal? To provide holiday meals to thousands of Bahamian families in need for the holidays. You can take part and support from November 4th to December 18th by purchasing or donating towards the purchase of a Christmas meal package. Media manager for AML Foods, Mona Lisa Turnquest, explains the charitable collaboration.
No amount is too small. Every donation will make a huge impact in the Feed 5,000 initiative. We have partnered with 4 amazing organizations whose work is known for fighting hunger every day in the Bahamas. These organizations are the Bahamas Feeding Network, the Salvation Army, the Red Cross of Grand Bahama, as well as the Exuma Foundation. These organizations will receive gift cards from AML Foods after December 18th when the program ends, and they will be able to disperse to the general public.
Now, you can donate at any AML Foods location in Grand Bahama, New Providence, or Exuma. But even if you're not at the food store, you can also donate through your Domino's orders. Marketing coordinator at Domino's, Amy Moss, explains.
Domino's customers, soon-to-be Domino's customers, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Now, with Domino's, you can go online to domino's242.com, and when you place your order, simply select the donate option. And upon checking out, as you would usually do when ordering your pizza or whatever you order, you can choose to donate $1, $3, $5, or $10. And it's just that simple. Online only when it comes to our donations, but if you wish to donate more, that option is also available. So you can go ahead and contact us at corporate@marketing@amlfoods.com.
All right, what a great effort. If you want to see that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena?
Thanks, Ken. Well, we want to remind you at home, you have a chance to start the new year in style. This Boxing Day, you could drive away in a brand new all-electric 2024 BYD SUV. Visit ournews.bs, click the Ride Easy with Our News banner, answer the question correctly, and you're entered to win. Good luck, but before you head over to our website, here are your latest headlines. First tonight in Our News Live at 7:30, accessing climate financing. Prime Minister Davis takes the stage at COP29, telling world leaders access to financing remains out of reach for many countries suffering most from the impacts of climate change. And security workers contracted to keep the Poinciana Inn premises safe, threatening to withdraw their services, claiming they haven't been paid in weeks. Plus, a new police station opens in 8 Mile Rock, how officials say the new station will greatly benefit the people in the surrounding communities. And later, our City in Focus, the Story of Freeport series continues. Tonight, the GBPA city manager shares efforts to address lighting issues in Freeport. All that and more when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me, Talia Hall, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories of Freeport. Stay with the team you already trust.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trevor Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes through our partnership with Bahama.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Talia Hall. Prime Minister Philip Davis telling world leaders access to concessional financing remains out of reach for many countries suffering from the impacts of climate change. Davis says it's due to outdated eligibility rules based on GDP per capita. The grim reality is real for many Caribbean countries that are left to pick up the pieces in the aftermath of intense natural disasters. Just this summer, Hurricane Beryl badly damaged parts of Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados and Jamaica, leaving behind billions of dollars in damage. Making matters even harder, Prime Minister Davis said despite agreements on a multidimensional vulnerability index, international financial institutions have not committed to its use. Then there are grants for adaptation, which Davis says takes too long to access and are insufficient to meet the climate development needs.
We implore bilateral and multilateral partners to scale up resources for adaptation and loss and damage, and to ensure that SIDS can access these funds at scale, quickly, without excessive and costly bureaucracy, and in the form of grants. Justice demands this. It is unconscionable that small island developing states should bear the brunt of a crisis climate that we did not and are not contributing to.
Davis made it clear the fight is not something that can be fought on our own. CARICOM chairman and Grenada's Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell revealed small island development states have spent 18 times more in debt repayments than they've received in climate finance. Davis says justice demands that the polluters should pay and not those who bear the burden of pollution.
Adaptation funding must be prioritized. I will call for 70% of climate finance to be directed to adaptation for SIDS. This is not a request, but a necessity. Adaptation is our right to prepare and to protect.
Just over a week ago, the government shelter at Point Sienna Inn was thrust into the national spotlight after 4 women were handed eviction notices. Today, more drama unfolded at the Bernard Road facility. Our Joshua Williams has the details in this report.
Security workers contracted to keep the premises safe, threatening to withdraw their services due to non-payment and other contractual issues. Their attorney, Ben McKinney, showed up at the shelter today. He alleges they were being asked to work above and beyond their duties.
She would ask our security staff to rake up the yard, or she would ask them to, when deliveries are made of bed and box springs and other things, to go and lift that upstairs and take it up into these apartments here.
What's worse, he claims, is the security officers have not been paid for the month of October. I spoke to shelter administrator Dawn Darling, who refuted McKinney's claims.
We've never asked them to do anything outside of the scope of their jobs. They've volunteered to help residents, or we've asked them to assist us in maybe lifting a mattress or something like that, and they've complied. It's always been that way, and now because their issues are unrelated to the shelter, they're now bringing that forward.
Now, Mr. McKinney says he's instructed his staff to show up to work today, but to not carry out their duties. Ms. Darling says it's something that could have an impact on operations.
2 days ago, we had an emergency, a crisis situation at the shelter where someone was a domestic violence victim, and they refused to do the necessary protocols in reference to securing the property, locking the property, the gates when persons come in and come out of the shelter.
When it comes to non-payment, Assistant Director with responsible for temporary shelters and Community Support Services Division, Shirley Kelly, says there's a valid reason for that.
As soon as the documents are provided that is required from our department in the Bahamas government, then the security company will receive payment. We have attempted to meet with Ms. McKinney and his company since June of this year, the latest being this week, and he has refused to come to a meeting with us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
A Supreme Court judge has denied bail to an accused killer in the interests of public safety and order. Randy Mackey is accused of the July 2nd, 2023 murder of Gareth Pyfram, who was shot at a pool party at a home on Marshall Road called the White Mansion. Mackey is also accused of the attempted murders of PC 3767 Shaquille Sweeting and PC 4548 Rashad Roll, who were shot when they went to investigate the gunfire. Over in Grand Bahama, a new state-of-the-art 8 Mile Rock police station has officially opened. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez sharing at the opening the community needed an upgrade to keep pace with technology. Officer in charge of the Northern Region, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles, spoke about the benefits.
I have no doubt that this new facility, with its update resources and modern amenities, will support our officers' needs and enable them to perform their duties with greater efficiency, focus, and professionalism.
Equipped with state-of-the-art resources, we are poised to provide a better service to the people of 8 Mile Rock and its surrounding communities, strengthening our ability to address local concerns, support community policing efforts, and build stronger relationships with the public we serve.
The new station is now located within the Obadiah-Wilchcombe complex. Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie also attended the opening.
I read somewhere that one of the greatest challenges to law enforcement today is to act with predictability in the age of uncertainty, as your strengths and limitations are both challenged. Therefore, the tools necessary The resources and a functional work environment must be at your disposal. As I look at this new complex, I believe it is fair to say that we are hitting the mark in this regard at the 8 Mile Rock Police Station.
We have a lot more to get to tonight, but first, it's time for your first look at weather. Meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us live in the Weather Center. Greg?
Thanks, Marlene, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Very breezy conditions on the outside. Cool temperatures. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 70s. 77 is our current temperature right now outside our studios. Breezy, as I mentioned, east-northeast winds at 23 miles per hour, and they're gusting much higher than that. But we do expect those winds to fall off tomorrow. But feels like temperature is still in the mid to upper 70s. Taking a look at our satellite radar composite, quiet across our area, high pressure in charge, tight pressure gradient in place, and that's going to continue to keep us on the windy side tonight. We do expect one or two small spotty showers to be moving across the island chain, but those winds will be relaxing some tomorrow. Still in the cautionary levels, but the seas will be slow to subside, so we're asking you boaters and beachgoers to continue to remain in port and out of the waters because conditions will remain hazardous for those kinds of activities. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at tropics and your extended forecast still to come.
Still to come on Our News, our City in Focus, the Story of Freeport series continues. Tonight, we shine a spotlight on the city manager who's addressing some lighting concerns in the nation's second city. And just how much does it take to feed the nation's hungry? One organization telling us their efforts alone go through thousands of bags a month, and they say it's still not enough. Find out what you can do to help when Our News returns.
Base to Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want APBs, patrol cars, wanted posters, whatever it takes, and tell the public we got $10,000 for whoever could turn them into us.
Put the word out on the street. I got $20,000 right now for any man who could bring them to me. Go clean this up.
Right, Jeff? Let's head out.
When money's sick, but the mind coming. When money's sick, but the mind coming.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama, and a lot of people out there say they don't understand me. So I have Adelso here who's going to interpret everything I say. So you're going to watch Charlie Bahama from Cuba this week.
Van a ver el programa del show de Bahama, de Charlie Bahama desde Cuba.
And we're going to be going to Peñales, we're going to be going to Trinidad, we're going to be going all throughout Havana.
So van a verlo, fuimos a Viñales, a Trinidad y todo en La Habana.
On Cable Bahamas. Charlie Bahama Show.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama.
Over the past few weeks, we've taken you inside the Grand Bahama Port Authority, showcasing the departments that help drive the organization. Today, we continue our series with a focus on the city manager, who's addressing some concerns regarding lighting in the city of Freeport. Italia Hall reports.
Because we now have a platform where we know where every single light is located, Earlier this year, we have a pilot project, as I mentioned earlier, on GB Highway. There's a total of, I think, 8 solar lights on GB Highway.
As we've previously mentioned, the City Management Department is vital to the operations of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. One of its key responsibilities is overseeing the lighting throughout the city of Freeport. Lighting has been an ongoing concern for many residents. To address this, Deputy Director and City Manager Troy McIntosh says the team is closely monitoring the effectiveness of their pilot project. He says they're observing how long the lights last and how well they perform.
Why? Because we want to be able to institute that solution elsewhere in the city. So, for example, you drive in some subdivisions or some streets within communities and they have cul-de-sac and there's no light there. Well, the solar will be a perfect and ideal for it. And so we're looking to see how well they perform. Now that this weather comes, this is ideal for us to see how well they're going to perform. The question has been answered in terms of illumination. That works. We want to look at durability.
One of the major challenges they face is the large canopy trees along the main roads near the streetlights.
What the trees do is block the ability of the light to cast the light on the road. Now, we have done over the last 2 weeks and over the last couple of years, keep trimming the trees up, but we get kickbacks sometimes when we cut the trees, but it's necessary because it's for safety. If the lights can't cast on the road and the trees are blocking that light, that's a problem for the motorists or even the pedestrians that are walking.
Looking ahead to 2025, McIntosh shares the plan is to expand the use of the solar-powered lights throughout the city, which he believes will help alleviate some of the issues.
We want to look at where people are, make sure that we can do that successfully, and then look at what you call urban areas where there's less development, and then continue to build it out as possible.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Just how bad is the hunger problem in the Bahamas? As AML Foods gears up for their 9th annual Feed 5,000 holiday feeding program, hoping to provide holiday meals to thousands of Bahamian families in need for Christmas, they've teamed up with Bahamas Feeding Network to make that dream a reality. The Feeding Network's distribution manager, Racina Ferguson-Scully, tells us they go through thousands of bags of food a month, and there's still need for more.
Every month we have we give out at least over 3,000 bags every month at Bahamas Feeding Network. And it still is not enough. It's still not enough there. So that means instead of decreasing, it's increasing. Hunger is increasing in the Bahamas. And this ain't say persons who coming who have agreed. These are persons who really in need. So feel free. If it's $50, $500, $5,000, $10,000, come along to AML and give it so we could wipe out hunger for Christmas Day.
She says because that need is only growing, the Bahamas Feeding Network relies on things like AML's Feed 5,000 holiday feeding program.
When it coming near the time for AML, I'm overexcited because I know it's more food that will be coming in for me to be able to cater to more persons in need. And at the Bahamas Feeding Network, we cater to a lot of persons that are in need and dying need. Like every day, more and more persons come. So when it's the AML time, I am truly excited because I know we're gonna get enough stuff that we could feed families at least a Christmas meal.
Speaking of the holidays, here's a reminder about how Our News is helping you kick off the new year in style. This Boxing Day, you could win a brand new electric BYD 2024 SUV from Easy Car Sales. Just visit ournews.bs, click Ride Easy with Our News, answer the question, and you're entered to win. Good luck.
Coming up in sports, VJ Edgecombe makes his official intro to the home crowd in Waco, while Buddy and the Warriors get the win in the Splash Brothers reunion.
And the Women's Empowerment Night of the Year. Our Danielle Miller takes us inside the highly anticipated event, bringing the highlights from Cable Bahamas' group of companies Inspire Her 2024 conference.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed I actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahama's Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. Let's get started with college hoops. Wins in the home debuts for VJ Edgecombe and Roma Dean, while AJ Storr made his first appearance in the Champions Classic. Edgecombe gave that home crowd in Waco, Texas some insight into what they can expect. A double-double in the number 12 Bears' 104-67 win over the Sam Houston Bearcats. He finished with 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Edgecombe was one of 7 Bears in double figures.
Say that coach trusts his players, to play. We're blessed by the Lord to have this ability to play the game we love. So having 7 players in double figures means a lot, man. Show that we share the sugar, like they say. And we have fun out there. We trust our teammates. That's the main thing. Show that we got chemistry and connectivity.
In the A10, Dean reached double figures for the first time this season with 10 points in his Fordham Rams 78-63 win over Binghamton. In the Rams home opener at Rose Hill Gym, Dean shot 4 for 7 from the field and 2 for 5 from three-point range. AJ Storr and the number 1 ranked Kansas Jayhawks defeated fellow Blue Bloods Michigan State 77-69 in the Champions Classic. Storr fouled out with 6 points in just over 11 minutes. Kansas won their 5th straight Champions Classic game and have now won 8 of their last 9 matchups in the event. Donnie Freeman and the Syracuse Orange won 74-72 over Colgate. The freshman forward finished with 6 points and 5 rebounds in 15 minutes.
The Sunland Stingers senior boys basketball program got off to a familiar start. Another preseason championship. The Stingers defeated the Tabernacle Falcons 62-55 in the GBSSAA Tip-Off Classic presented by the IL Cares Foundation. It was the 5th consecutive Tip-Off Classic title. Jamarian Aubrey led all players with 20 points, while Jermaine Woodside finished with 16. Woodside was named the championship's most valuable player, while teammate Silvano Gibson was named the top defensive player. Jarius Hall led the Falcons with 18 points and Dylan Moore scored 11. In the small schools division, the Bishop Micah Eldon Warriors defeated the 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays 37-32. Liam Carroll's MVP performance included 18 points in the title game, while Levan Cooper scored 10. Hakeem Wilkinson led the Blue Jays with 12 points and Julian Russell scored 10.
All eyes were on the Chase Center Tuesday night. It was the return of Klay Thompson and a head-to-head matchup with the person most people see as his replacement in the lineup, Buddy Hield. Hield scored 14 points off the bench, and his Golden State Warriors got the edge 120-117 over the Dallas Mavericks in the first chapter of this new rivalry. Thompson, in his first time in the Chase Center's visiting locker room, scored 22 points and made 6 three-pointers in his return.
That was surreal and a night I'll never forget. Unfortunately, it was a tough loss. Could have easily gone our way, but that's life, and I think we'll see the Dubs 3 more times, so there's plenty of more battles ahead, which is the fun part.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. You think if we go back to our old job, we'll get welcomed like Klay Thompson?
Your old job? Absolutely not.
No comment. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, Powered by Women. Our Danielle Miller takes us on a journey to relive the star-studded event that was the Cable Bahamas group of companies Inspire Her 2024 conference. And we're halfway through the week and still enjoying some breezy fall temperatures. To share a look at what comes next, our Greg Thompson is back in the Weather Center with your extended weather forecast in just a moment when Our News returns.
This holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahama's Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
This holiday season, Our News and Easy Car Sales want to put you in a brand new electric ride.
Each week, tune into Our News at 7 and 7:30 for clues to questions about easy car sales, electric vehicles, and Generation E. Head over to our website, ournews.bs, for your chance to answer weekly trivia and enter to win.
It's simple. Answer correctly and you're automatically entered for your chance to win a brand new electric vehicle.
Base to Officer Barry, base to Officer Barry. Transfer of inmate 37, TJ Davis, is to be handled cautiously and expeditiously. Inmate and those affiliated with him are not to be trusted. At first sign of any suspicious behavior, contact backup immediately. Do you copy, Officer Barry? Officer Barry, do you copy? Inspect. I'm not reaching him.
I want it.
This is Our News. Welcome back. The tropics still a little active out there. We have 17 days left in the official Atlantic hurricane season, and we are now tracking potential tropical cyclone number 19, which is down in the southwestern Caribbean. In the meantime, though, we have a frontal boundary just to the north of us, a very weak one that's dropping into the islands. That's going to keep us with some reinforced nice weather conditions for the next couple of days. And of course, by the weekend, we could see some temperatures in the upper 60s, possibly the very low 70s. Once again, potential tropical cyclone number 19, present position 16.2 degrees north, 79 west, winds up to 29 miles per hour with 40 mile per hour winds, and the system is going to continue to move towards the west, should be impacting the Central American coastlines over the next couple of days, or at least for the remainder of the week. But we are going to continue to watch this one very closely, as the system is likely to move into the Gulf of Mexico and has some potentials to affect Florida. Taking a look at what that system is going to be doing, very warm waters, some low shear in place, and that's going to continue to allow the system to strengthen over the next couple of days. So we will watch that once again very closely. Conditions remaining hazardous for boating. Small craft remain in port, high risk current. Winds are going to be out of the northeast, 15 to 25 knots, falling to 15 to 20 tomorrow, but the seas are going to be slow to subside. Your high tide and your low tides there as expected through tonight and into tomorrow. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, beautiful conditions expected for the next several days. Dry air mass in place, lighter winds expected for the remainder of the week, but of course those temperatures will be very comfortable. Low 80s during the daytime, low 70s nighttime. Looks like winter is here. Christmas is around the corner. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
The annual Inspire Her event returned last week with a ballroom filled with women who were elevated, enriched, and empowered. Our Danielle Miller has the highlights.
Can we just give a hand for the outfits real quick?
From the stage to the audience, it was a room filled with women at Cable Bahamas' group of companies Inspire Her 2024 conference. The Atlantis Ballroom was adorned with inviting decor, giving Instagrammable moments at every corner. From the cute cutouts to the white couches, which is my personal fave. But wait, there were elements that I saw that rivaled last year, like the posters of the speakers mounted in the foyer, additional vendors, the white draping, a separate stage for a full-on band, a bar inside the main room, and, as if the ambiance wasn't enough, the Inspire Her team gave you an overdose of enrichment through the women that were featured on the program. Aisha Bowe, Jessica Lundy, Jo Beth Colby Davis, Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, Leslia Bryce, and much more, tackling riveting conversations like these.
I mean, how many of us are actually intentional about our career? Right. We're intentional about the vacations we take every year. Yeah. We plan out our vacations. We plan out down to the hour what we're going to do, where we're going to go. But so many of us don't put that same intention into finding out, well, where is my sweet spot?
I actually started my career mostly after I had children. But that being said, I was starting a business with a 5, 2, and a baby. And it was very difficult. And there is no balance. Yeah.
November 7th proved to be a day filled with inspiration, education, networking, and community. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, before we sign off, here's a reminder about how Our News is helping you kick off the new year in style. This Boxing Day, you could win a brand new electric BYD 2024 SUV from Easy Car Sales. Just visit ournews.bs, click Ride Easy with Our News, answer the question, and you're entered to win. Good luck! Well, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard. We'll see you tomorrow night, and I hope you have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Italia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.